So are there any questions from the audience that people want to ask? We've covered a lot of ground here and a lot of good stuff. So anything that we haven't touched on that you guys want to ask, if you do, put it in the chat. Or do you want to share an experience or something that you did that people can learn from? Or so while we're waiting for that, so we're running out of time. We're going to adjourn this in a couple minutes. So what are the biggest mistakes in your view, in your experience? What are the biggest mistakes people make in doing this, particularly as it applies to software, AI, ML, that kind of stuff?
The biggest mistake you can make is with AI, and you have your product and you've launched it into the marketplace, and then I receive a call 7 months after you've launched it to say, hey, I think we need to build some IP here. And I say, well, what have you got? And he says AI, and I say, oh, copyright's the way to go. And I said, so have you launched this yet? And he says, yes, 7 months ago. Game over.
Right.
After, if it's been in the open space for 6 months or more, that's it. You can't file.
The other mistake that I've seen is you tell people. I mean, a lot of this, it can't be in the public domain because then it's prior art and it disqualifies your ability to get intellectual property protection. So, is that correct?
A lot of it depends on what the person who's heard the story is going to do with it. Because when they're doing, again, going back to patents, the examiners are always looking to see what's out there in the patents application world. However, because, as we said earlier, the copyright world is a separate entity, they don't look at that. They only look at patents. And so if we both have AI companies and I filed a patent and you filed a copyright, and unbeknown to each other, we both are doing the same thing. And then 3 years down the line, I'm advertising mine as patent approved, and you're advertising yours as this is fantastic, and you can, this is the, everything is copyrighted. You can actually look at mine and then do an investigation and see when I filed my application. And then you can look at yours. And if we use the example where before, where you did your application at 9 a.m. and I did mine at 9:30, you can go to the USPTO and said, I filed a copyright 30 minutes before Mr. Freeman. He's doing the same thing. That patent approval can be overturned.
Yeah, and that assumes you renew your patents and don't let the patent expire.
That's true, but you can have a decision overturned.
Yeah. So the one final question is, and this kind of alludes to what you're talking about, is that is the difference between patent protection and freedom to operate. So a patent or any of these intellectual property things are really an exclusionary right. They basically mean they don't give you the right to do anything. They give you the right to exclude or pursue other people should they infringe on your intellectual property. But freedom of operate, that doesn't mean you can do whatever the hell you want just because you have intellectual property. So can you just touch on that point? What's the difference between freedom to operate and having intellectual property protection?
Well, if company A has intellectual property that's approved to operate and do XYZ, and then company B doesn't have any patents, but does exactly the same in the XYZ under the freedom to operate, then a phone call gets made to the lawyer and a cease and desist order letter comes out because you're infringing our patent and you're not authorized to do so. You're not a licensee. We haven't given you any legal rights. Stop. You can fight
Right.
it, but good luck to you.
So the other piece of advice is, again, consider these patent considerations. Consider doing, building your intellectual property portfolio and doing an intellectual property audit as your company evolves.
Correct.
And also, you might have to hire someone to do a freedom to operate audit to make sure that you have the freedom to operate, even though you have some intellectual property protection. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. Well, this has been very informative, Lawrence. Thanks very much for your insights and expertise. If somebody wants to get in touch, if somebody wants to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
Oh, they can send me an email. My email is LF, my initials, at oakbay, OAKBAY, LLC.com.
Okay, so I put that in the chat. I want to thank the participants who joined us this morning. And if you're interested in learning more at the Society of Physician Entrepreneurs, we're at www.soapnet.org, and we encourage you to follow us at the American Board of Artificial Intelligence and Medicine at www.abaim.org. So thanks very much. And incidentally, we'll be recording, we have recorded this and it'll be uploaded to the ABAIM YouTube station if you want to review it or recommend it to others. So thanks very much, and we'll see you on the first Friday next month.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for having me, Alan. Thanks.
My pleasure. Yeah, thanks for joining us. Bye.
Bye.